is known as Spanish Janice. She lived in Mexico City for 5 years as a child and became a Spanish interpreter. She's been married for 14 years with two beautiful children, or she was married for 14 years with two beautiful children, and then she got divorced. And her divorce was her rock bottom. After her divorce, she became aware that the fear that had held her back had really held her back. She began doing all the things that scared her. She ran a marathon, published a memoir, started speaking in front of audiences, competed in a bodybuilding competition, and did stand-up comedy. She did everything she feared and realized that our true purpose is waiting for us, right on the other side of fear. She's a voiceover artist, actress, yoga instructor, and author. But what fills her soul the most is speaking to audiences and encouraging, uplifting, and unifying hearts through the power of words and authentic action and love. Help me welcome to the stage, Janice Bird.
Hello. You may be wondering why I just took my shoes off, and I will get to that in a second. But first, I just want to say thank you to our hosts. This has been the most amazing speaker retreat, and I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. I'm not kidding. Okay, and now back to why I took my shoes off. So about 8 years ago, I joined Toastmasters, and I stood up there to give my first speech, and I started shaking as if I were in Antarctica with shorts and a t-shirt on. I was so freaking scared, and it was the fear being manifest on the outside. And why was I so scared? Well, when I was 16, I joined these speech competitions, and I made it to the finals of one of these speech contests, and then I forgot my lines. It was just gone. So from that moment on, I did not speak publicly for 20 years. That is how powerful fear is. Now, can I just a raise of hands, how many of you have at least one fear that you know that you have to walk through and face and you haven't quite done it yet? Anybody? One fear, just one. And how many of you know that it is ultra important for you to walk through that fear before you die? So important. Awesome. You guys are my people. Can I share a little bit about myself with you? So if there was an Olympic gold medal for an event called people pleasing, I would have won that shit. I was a master people pleaser, codependent, full of fear, and then I got a divorce. I was married 14 years, we had two beautiful children. I was very codependent in my relationship. So when I divorced, I just stood there and I thought, who am I and what do I do? And there was no one to blame. And I decided I needed to take control of my life, take personal responsibility, and face all the fears that held me back. And so I started to do that. Now there were 4 steps that I took that now looking back, I could see that they were steps, but at the moment I was just kind of struggling my way through. And this was through the course of 8 years. So the first one, self-awareness. We can't change what we don't know. I needed to be aware that I was actually unintentionally manipulating and lying to people to feel their approval and to feel like I was good enough. Number 2, I decided and committed to change. We have to decide, we have to intentionally commit to doing something different. Number 3, I said, man, there's some baggage. I have some emotional wounds that need to be healed, and ignoring them has not been the thing, because it hasn't helped. So I started digging deep. I started forgiving. Number 4, I took massive freaking action. Every single thing that scared me to death and made me feel like I was gonna melt into the earth and just die, I did all those things. The running the marathon I thought was impossible, the bodybuilding competition because I had major body image issues, all of the things to get me onto the other side. And let me tell you something, on the other side of fear is beauty. It is your purpose. It is what this life is about, and I'm shaking right now because to me it is more important to stand up here and shake and look like a fool than to have it all together. This, do you see? That is fear manifest. It's like, holy crap, an involuntary thing. But I feel like our purpose is much more powerful than that, and I'm not gonna let it hold me back. So, is my time up?
Bring it home.
So here's what I want to say. I want everybody to shake, but to walk through it. I want everybody to go on the other side of their fear. So when you go home, I should probably stand back on my spot. When you go home, mark it on your calendar. A big X, 7 days from today, or from whenever you're home. If you have not walked through a fear that you know that you need to conquer, or haven't taken one step to go through that fear, then speak to our hosts, get my information, and I would love to encourage you and hold you accountable in living your best life and in being free. Thank you.